Hey everyone, and welcome to From Waterloo to the Alamo. I'm your host, Traci Wilson, and today our podcast is basically where hospitality meets design, travel, and storytelling. I am here with Jill Nettles Johnson, and she is the CEO and owner of Swig Consulting. Jill, I am so happy to have you here today. It happens to be Halloween Day, so I love that you are wearing your orange to be festive. But I'm really interested to talk to you because I know that your company is basically hospitality consulting, right? And you do everything from luxury brand, consulting with luxury brands to wineries, kind of all over the hill country. So why don't we first start with kind of your journey? I know that you have built a career that was highly focused, right, on luxury retail, fine dining, global wine and spirits. But when you look back, when did you realize that your calling was hospitality?
Oh wow, okay, this is a big question.
Yeah.
I feel like this was my calling ever since I was like 14. Believe it or not, I was building then.
Wow.
Yeah, and I started off working for a family in my neighborhood that had a balloon shop. So cards, all of this stuff for like
Mm-hmm.
parties and all of that, right? Then my mom put me in like etiquette classes. Then I was a part of like campaigns with my dad.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always put in like the social aspect where I had to get people comfortable, conversate with them,
Mm-hmm.
sell raffle tickets, do
Right.
like balloon bouquets. So I was always put in the position where I had to make sure things came together, make sure people felt good and was happy about what they wanted, get
Mm-hmm.
people excited. So it came natural. I've been put in front of people since day one.
Yeah. And
So
that's awesome. And that's where
yeah,
you were like, I love coordinating
just
things,
yeah,
right?
and just like people,
Yeah.
right? Because my energy was always good. My parents are lively.
Mm-hmm.
My dad has the big personality. My mom's very social, so I grew up in an environment where that was it. Like we
Mm-hmm.
got up in the morning and it was that. So our days going into school, going anywhere was
Mm-hmm.
very motivational. So I think that energy
Helps.
helped, right, create my personality and
Mm-hmm.
helped in like anything that I wanted to do that involved people.
Yeah. Well, and you've had a very sounds very fun. I mean, you've worked in California, Texas, and Italy,
Yes.
which is amazing. But
Yeah.
how would you say each of those places shaped your philosophy on, service and culture? Because I'm sure they were all very different.
They were very different. California kicking it off. I took the initiative to move from Chicago at the age of 19 and moved to California. I majored in consumer studies. My focus was fashion merchandising. I was
Mm-hmm.
already in this whole like modeling world. Got to California, finished college there, and I kind of got swooped into this whole like, oh, do you want to work for Moët and Chandon? My friend was a marketing major. She needed a team. Once I was a part of that team, the company took me and was like, we need her on champagne. We need
We
her
need
on,
her
we need her
everywhere.
everywhere on all these spirits. So that was my initial like launch of it all. So I was like, okay, brand training. I had 15 different brands. And then all of a sudden I'm working with like celebrities. Then I'm like hosting magazine parties. So it was always that. And they used me for just like my personality, my presence, and she can pick up on information quickly. So
Mm-hmm.
from there and then to Texas, I really felt that California prepared me for Texas.
Mm-hmm.
California is the second, like when it comes to like just everything like business and
Mm-hmm.
thriving, right? And then especially with like wine and spirits, fashion, and all of that. We're right behind New York. So moving from California to Texas, I was like, okay, where's the wine country?
Yeah.
So specifically moved to the hill country and dove
Mm-hmm.
right in. I represented a family out of Sonoma, managed distribution, then joined boards here in Texas, wine and spirits, all of the social stuff I did. And from there, I met someone from Italy that had a school, and I got chosen to get a scholarship to study the country, which I'm in the middle of right now.
Amazing. Oh, so this is like a current.
This is a current thing. So I have a certification for Northern Italian wine. And so in November, I'll be going to Montalcino to study Brunello.
Wow.
So
Oh
I'm
my
in the middle
gosh.
of it all. So if you could imagine, hospitality is at the center of all of this because I'm learning different culture. California is different from Texas. Texas
Right.
is different from Italy. And it all has some synergy because
Yeah.
it's wine, it's hospitality, and the etiquette goes a long way.
A long way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, for sure. Wow, that's going to be so interesting. The Italy aspect will be amazing.
Yes.
Okay, so what do you think the common thread is? Because I mean, that connects all of this work you've done. I mean, you've worked from Nordstrom to Moët Hennessy to Texas Wineries to the Wine and Food Foundation. What's kind of that base thread?
I think the demographic, the people, we all have the same interests. I felt like how I grew up and what my parents got me prepared for, it makes it easy for me to pull every industry together and know what that hospitality is, know how to communicate with my customer, know the expectations. Like there's not really a surprise because I grew up in it, right? Like it's not that I'm studying like how do I talk to somebody? How do I sell to somebody that's trying to buy a $5,000 necklace or wants a $500 bottle of wine? Like I pretty much know the habits. It's my world.
Yeah. Well, you get to know the value of what you're selling.
Oh, for sure.
And if you know the value of what you're selling, you can sell it.
Yeah.
And that goes hand in hand with our brokerage. You know, we're a high-end international luxury brokerage, and I always preach to my agents is if you understand the value and what we have to offer and how it compares to everyone else, you will win, right?
Yes.
You'll always win that listing, right?
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people overthink it. You have to just understand the value of what you're selling.
Right. And then have that connection. Like I naturally connect with people because I respect people first.
Yes.
So it's not like I can go into a situation and not even knowing their situation, but I connect with people. And so it's easy when you're put in the environment where you understand the environment. So you know what to talk about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know where the respect level lies. You know the boundaries. You just know all of that.
Well, I feel like that goes hand in hand because one of the things that you really like coin yourself on is creating meaningful guest experiences, right?
Yes.
And so I guess what meaningful means to you versus traditional, kind of luxury that people kind of use every day.
So I really feel like I have to get to know the person and the environment. So when I'm walking into a winery, it's different than walking into Nordstrom. It may be the same customer, but they have different needs. Right. When I'm shopping for a client, if I am putting together, let's say a cheese board,
Right.
or like a picnic, we do these luxury picnics. So it's all different expectations, but I know how to ask the questions to get what I want so people are happy in the end.
Right.
Whether it's the client, the customer, and then just forming those relationships in the space because that's a big thing too. You have to know the person. And I feel like I do a really good job of not only being myself, but understanding what an individual needs.
What an individual
Yes,
needs.
and that's why when it's hospitality. It's all hospitality. So whether it's me creating golf apparel,
Right.
my resort collection, because that was one of the things that was in this mix. It's still the same demographic. It's still the same person, same across the board.
Same across the board, yeah. Well, how do you feel about AI and automation coming in to this world, right? It is so incredibly helpful, but what is your take on it? I mean, with the fact that, the role of human connection still playing in, at least being a huge part of the hospitality excellence.
Yeah. For me, AI is as good as using Chat GPT. I really have not found a synergy between putting AI into hospitality unless it's on the back end.
Right.
Definitely not the forefront.
Yeah.
Like I don't, so I've been a few places. I just came back from Scottsdale, and I've been a few places where they're like, oh, just tap the screen, or just, you're greeted by like digital. And I'm like, this is not it. And so I don't want to go anywhere where it's digital. I still like the human connection, and it's needed. You have to be able to read people. While I'm looking at somebody's profile, that day they show up, something might have just happened. Before they got out the car or as they're getting ready to come see me. So the last thing I want is some digital digital thing being like, hi, welcome to this. I want to be able to know what my guest or client, how they feel when they come in. Like, I can tell if something's wrong. If it's a mom and they're like, oh my gosh, I just had a rough day, I got 3 kids. I want to hear that story so I can be prepared as to what to sell to them, what to offer them, because it may not be the same as to when they're like sent me a DM or an email like, I need a charcuterie board for 20 people, or I need you to shop for my daughter's wedding. Like, it's different when people are actually there physically with you. You know how to jump into the conversation and give them what they need, as opposed to someone may ask for something in the day of, like, show up, and then there's this AI like generated person and they're like, I don't feel like doing this today.
Yeah, I don't.
And
I
there
don't
you
want
go.
And there it is. Yeah. Well, and I do think, like you said on the back end, AI is going to be so helpful. What's the best hotel to book this type of experience or this? But also, too, what people need to understand is that, especially in the hospitality world, AI is pulling everything from reviews, from articles, from this. And if you have created that incredible customer experience when people first initially arrive, and that hasn't been removed, people don't realize that AI is going to take any data, any reviews on you and your business and what you do and what people have said about you and say, hey, this winery is one of the best wineries to go to in Fredericksburg. Not only do they create they have great wines, but their customer experience, you get greeted when you get in. They know exactly what you want. It's more than just I like a more robust wine with cherries and this and chocolate taste or whatever. It's different. And so I think what people realize is, yes, AI is going to be so helpful, but you cannot replace that customer experience. And people think you can. And I feel like that is going to start. Yes, AI is going to say, great, they have all AI digital, but people don't want that.
People don't want that.
I want to know what the best mattress is that I can buy for the best price with the best reviews. That's going to be a quick little fix on ChatGPT. But when I go someplace, I'm there to relax. I'm there to,
And not necessarily pull out my phone or be in front of a screen.
Yeah, I want to tell someone, this is what I like. I'm picky. Yes. I like these types of wines. Yeah. What do you have for me? And I want to taste them.
And that's what I like.
Yeah. And especially in that aspect, too, I feel like if someone's like, you get 3 wines to taste on a digital thing, you're like, great. But if I'm sitting there with you, you're like, you know what? Nope, these 3 wines really, I know they're not going to work for you. I know that's what you said, and that's what it's pulling. Yes. But we need to try these 2 wines because you're leaning more this way. And I think that really didn't accurately describe what you like.
Absolutely.
That makes the whole difference in the world. So you're right. I think that's so important. And I really don't think there is going to be there will not be a replacement for that type of customer experience. So tell me, is there ever been a moment for you where you felt like, an event or a collaboration that you led was completely transform a brand relationship with its guests? Like completely just been like, wow, this was a huge pivotal moment for them.
Oh, for sure. So my most recent collaboration with 12 Fox Beer Company. So they're located in Dripping Springs, as is my business as well. So it's a small community, from Dripping Springs to Fredericksburg. Like when you're in that whole wine beer space and food as well. I collaborated with them last year. Oh, it's going on 2 years. So I collaborated with them, and, that project for them was a hobby. So I love this story, right? Like, I run into so many concepts out here where it's like, well, we just love wine, or we heard beer is like the thing to do, or me and my boys, we wanted to just open a brewery. So me having the business background and coming from that space where it's like standard industry business, I was able to come in as a partner and implement a lot of the corporate structure. And I have fun doing that because it's part of the growth of the business. It's part of connecting with people, being out and doing all that stuff where, like, behind the passion, like, let's see the money. Let's bring the people that are really our people, right? Where when you do something as a hobby, it's like, okay, let's just, all these people come around because it's fun. Oh my gosh, everybody's like, doing it because it's fun. But when you have a business, for me to collaborate with somebody that has that passion and I'm able to bring in corporate structure and also the partnership with the cheese where like it all makes sense. And for me, it has to make sense. I don't collaborate with everyone. So this was like a wow moment for me. I was able to open up the business to different ideas. So now, like, not only is there beer, but there's beer and cheese experiences, right? Also, non-alcoholic bar. We're the only non-alcoholic bar like in the Hill Country right now, and that was something that the owners really wanted to do for the longest, but didn't know how to incorporate it.
Yeah.
They're like, we sell beer, but we need to get healthy. And so I was like, oh, okay. So I basically evaluated what they've already had and then implemented some of those ideas along with like a structure, and it's moving along as we speak.
That's amazing. Well,
So
and it's, with so many people choosing, whether they're not going to be drinking or this, or maybe just, hey, I'm going to live a healthier lifestyle for the next 60 days or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
You're giving them a place where they can come and still enjoy it and feel like they can enjoy a drink without it being something that might
like beer
throw
and
them
wine.
off the chain. Yeah, like throw them off their track or whatever. So that's awesome. And it is interesting that it was kind of, you would think like, oh, that would be an easy add-on, but it's probably a lot harder than I'm making it sound. So basically it's not that easy. You need someone with a good business development background for something like that.
Hello, my name is Macias Braganza, General Sales Manager at Mack Hike Ford Lincoln, your #1 Ford dealer in Central Texas. We are here for all your automotive needs, Ford, Lincoln, pre-owns, all year makes and model. If we don't have it, we'll find it. You won't find anybody that will work as hard as I will to earn your business. Thank you for making us #1 in Austin, Texas.
Hey, I'm Brandon Sparks with Nautilus Lending, based right here in Central Texas. We're a full-service mortgage operation and brokerage, serving Greater Texas as well as Florida and Tennessee. One of the greatest things about our shop is our ability to facilitate creative financing. What that means is that anything legally possible, we can get it funded. You want to find out more? Reach out to us, www.nautiluslending.com. That's www.nautiluslending.com.
Okay, so I know you mentioned your golf apparel, right?
Yes,
so the Caddy Resort Collection. Okay, so your description of is it designed for the journey, inspired by the game. So what inspired you to create it, and how does it embody your love of travel, design, and golf culture?
Okay, so my degree is in consumer studies. My focus is fashion merchandising. I grew up in this whole world of like modeling and fashion. And so as I got older, I got into the business side of the fashion world. I've always worked in fashion and all of that. So needless to say, before I graduated college, I had done everything in my industry, from starting off at the little shop at 14 to being an assistant buyer at BB at the time. Remember BB?
Oh my gosh! BB.
Yes. Oh yeah. I was
Wow.
an assistant accessories buyer.
I love BB.
Yes. So it was like, okay, I've done everything. Now what? And so my brother played professional baseball. I was at one of his games. This guy comes up to me and was like, hey, are you Marcus' sister? And I'm like, yeah. He was like, he told me about your whole fashion thing. Like, golfers need some cool clothes. He was like, right now we have Tiger Woods and he's working with Nike and all this, but he was like, I think you should design something. So just somebody out the blue. He was an attorney, just sitting in the crowds, introduced himself, and he followed my brother. So I was like, okay. And I had the degree, I had the experience, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, this is cool, because for the longest, I'm like, I need to do something different. I don't want to be that standard, like, oh, look, buy my clothes because I'm so different. So I went into that whole space. Then I noticed My dad was like, I have golf clubs in the basement. My dad had golf clubs like from when he golfed back in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
Had no idea. And he was like, yeah, so I got inspired. I took his golf clubs, I started studying golf, all of that. And we already grew up in the space where, you know, my dad and mom, my parents were a part of organizations. So the whole support behind that came
That's
I don't want to say so easy, but I was already placed there, and I was already used to talking to people in the space because I was selling raffle tickets, I was doing campaigns, I was volunteering, like all of that. So I was like, I'm gonna do a golf line after studying the industry. And then I was like, I'm gonna focus on resorts because to me, that's what I knew. That space is what I knew. Not that we were going to resorts every single day, but the customer. It was easy for me to talk to those customers because they were always spending money. They were always buying, traveling, and all that. And that's what I did growing up.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I'm going to focus on this part. And then also, I used to work at Lord & Taylor in Chicago. It was like one of the, look up Lord & Taylor.
Yes.
But it's a high-end department store. And so I worked there. I worked at Talbert's. All of my jobs that I had growing up was always like downtown Chicago. Very like luxury. So it was easy for me to pivot into a resort collection where I was able to not only focus on the golfers because my dad, you know, golfed. And he ended up picking it back up. Like
that's so great.
Yeah, he was always busy and he, you know, spending time with my brother with baseball and all of that. And then once I jumped into I was like, I'm going to create a resort collection and I'm going to have it golf focused. So he started coming out to my golf tournaments and inviting his friends out, all of that. And then I was able to create a golf tournament for Johnny Walker when I worked for Moët Hennessy.
Amazing.
So all of that, I provided like the bags. And so all of this, you take everything that I've done from apparel to wine and spirits to travel to food. It comes from just my life experience. So it's very natural.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm studying is what are they buying this month?
Yeah, what is this? So
Yes.
what is it going to look like? I mean, do you have like a little is it going to
Collection?
be Yeah, I'm like curious because you know there's so many popular golf apparel lines, right?
Yes.
And clearly you know, my brother was a professional golfer, but so when I think about what he likes to wear, what's comfortable for him, my husband's extremely picky. So every time he's like, I don't like the way this fits. I don't like this hugs or how it does this, or I need it to be breathable. But also everybody's into the fun patterns and the fun things. So what kind of vibe direction are you going with your collection?
So with my collection, we went organic, natural. I use hemp in my collection.
Okay.
So hemp, if you compare it to dry fit, it's the natural side of the dry fit world. Antibacterial, stretchy, climate controlled. So hemp is one of those fabrics where if it's cold outside, it'll keep you warm. If it's hot outside, it'll keep you cool. So I was like, okay. And then I started looking at Ralph Lauren was my inspiration when I created that line. And I was like, oh, I'm going to redo the dress, the polo dress, the standard polo dress. So I was like, how can I change it? Oh my gosh, I did the whole what you're supposed to do, do your research. So it's 100 question questionnaire, 100 women, 100 male, what don't you like about golf clubs?
Different body styles, different body types.
Yeah. So the number one thing was that, I hate the collars. The collar has always been, or it's always too hot because you have these buttons in the way. So for the, what I did first was design a polo dress for women, which was a play on Ralph Lauren polo, but it was the caddy dress. And it has no buttons here. It's a V. And then it's made from hemp. So I use different weights of hemp. It's stretch hemp in the body, linen hemp on the collar. And these are blends with mostly hemp. And then you have the shorts to go underneath the dress.
So I wish I could have put one on today.
I gotta bring you one. Oh my gosh. Yes. Yeah. And so it was a big hit. I went to the PGA merchandise show, and my first visit there, I had 20 accounts. And that's when I realized, oh my gosh, I'm in this.
Yes. Well, you know, there's that new, what is it? You know, I know we lost Del Match Play, but there's the new one that's coming for Barton Creek.
Yes.
Barton Creek Country Club. So you should try to
get in there. So Del Match Play is coming back.
They are coming
next
back
year.
Really?
Yes, that's what I said. I just seen it.
What?
It came
Because
across
everybody was
Instagram.
freaking out about
Me
the one
too.
coming to Barton Creek.
Oh goodness.
So it's
Maybe.
the what is it called? I forget the good tour on the
Okay.
PGA, and it's coming to Barton Creek in next November.
Cannot
It'll be
wait.
here. So I wonder if Del Match Play is like, well, we're gonna come back down here.
Yes,
So
yeah.
interesting. Wow.
The country
But-
clubs competing.
Oh yeah, they sure are. Austin Country Club and Barton
Barton
Creek,
Creek,
right?
yes.
But yeah, no. So that would be awesome because you're here. You know?
Yeah. Yes.
That would be amazing. And how long have you had this line? Or
So-
when has it finally been like officially launched?
Yeah, so it was launched when I was in California, 100%. It was an easy transition. And then when I came here, when COVID hit,
Yeah.
that's when I had to weigh in more on like the wine and spirits
Right.
and cheese because those became like all of a sudden people wanted, that's a commodity. Like people want it. It's a
Yeah.
necessity. Like, do people need golf dresses so much? Not really. People were going to their resorts, but it was still kind of like, do we play golf or don't we play golf? Like, are we hanging out with our friends?
Yeah.
Or not. So I pivoted during COVID into like opening Swick Cheese House and focusing on curating like wine and cheese experiences virtually, like all of that. So because my business is hospitality and I'm in the luxury industry where there's expendable income, I was able to figure out the needs of our market and just say, hey, people are at home. Guess
Let's
what?
pivot.
They're going to be drinking wine. And not only that, we lived in Terrytown for a minute, and I partner with Mazama. Not Mazama. Why can't I think of the name? Mazama is in Dripping Springs.
Yeah.
What is the coffee on the, oh my gosh, I'm losing my words. The coffee shop that's on the lake, Mozart's.
Oh, Mozart's.
Coffee.
Yes. The second
love
you said lake, I
them.
was like,
love
Mozart's.
them.
Yes.
Yeah. So they had shut down like the coffee shop. People were only coming up, getting their coffee to the counter. So Ken and Stacy had all of the chairs up like on the side where we used to sit and do our work and all of that. I'm like, hey, do you guys want to put a market here? And Ken was like, how would we do that? And I was like, well, I have a relationship with like importers into Texas with like wine and specialty food. He was like, oh, I'll take a stab at it. He totally drove the project. And I was just putting the pieces in, bringing in the food. Like, I'm like, here's the list of things we need to bring in. Here's the coffee. And Ken and Stacy was behind it. And we were able to serve the Terrytown community. So instead of people going to Whole Foods and these big grocery stores during COVID, they were able to do curbside pickup from the little market.
With the right cheese and
With
the right wine that paired well.
Yes. And we had like olives, like people could actually pick up like boxes to make their
Amazing.
charcuterie board at home.
Amazing.
And so the second part of COVID, I took that same concept to the hill country. The wineries had to close if they didn't sell food. I opened up a cheese shop at Vinovium Winery at the time, and I sold cheese.
And it was
So I
successful.
was like, yes. So now I'm in it. This is how I pivoted from like the fashion piece to like wine and spirits. So that's why it's a hospitality thing all across the board, because I sell to resorts, country clubs, wineries, anything in the luxury space. And I still have, like, I manage my own manufacturing for the clothing line. I have direct relationships with importers into Texas. So I manage that business as well. And I pulled it all into one concept, which is Swick Consulting, because the business plan is very consistent across each
industry, yeah. Well, I think you should think about, pushing that caddy collection out because, think about it. Golf is a cradle to grave sport.
Yeah.
So, and not only is it that, the golf dress, like for at least for women, is a very, you could pivot to pickleball. You could pivot to tennis. You could alter different little things to work for different types of sports, right?
Yes.
And so, but like golf shirts are not just used for golf. They're used for, we're going to go out to dinner or we're going to go do this. I mean, it's kind of like a universal thing. So I think it's something you should refocus on because I think it'd be really awesome, especially if we're getting 2 golf tournaments here in Austin.
Yes. I'm excited about that.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the metaphor of caddy, right? Your guidance, intuition, experience. So how do you think that translates into how you lead and design experiences?
So a caddy is one who pretty much like helps like so if you have somebody helping you during a game of golf, that's like a caddy. Also, like an attitude that you have, like, although I'm grounded, there is a part of me that really has this like confident, like I can be that way. I can be very catty sometimes depending on the situation. But putting those two together, it helps across everything that I do because I'm more of the support system. So say like we use Barton Creek Country Club, or we use Austin Country Club. If I'm coming in as the designer, I'm providing the golf clothes, I'm providing a wine and cheese experience. So I'm just kind of like that, like tag your it type of person, and to make things like come together, right? So if somebody drops the ball or something, like a guest isn't having this experience, or we don't know what to do and we're having all these people come, or guess what? We don't have golf dresses, but we have all this other stuff. Like I can come in as a team player and connect the dots.
Yeah. I love that.
So yes, I'm like caddy. So it's funny because some people call me that, like
I
they
love
call
it.
by my name, like instead of my name.
They call you
They're
caddy.
like that's caddy.
And
There's
it can be
caddy.
like, there's caddy. Ooh, she's being catty today. Okay. See how it
Yes.
goes.
Yeah.
It is. It can go both ways.
Yes.
That's what you're saying.
And
I
it's
got
never a bad
it.
caddy
Never a
thing,
bad
you
caddy.
know what
I
I'm
love
saying?
it.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, I mean, you worked so closely with wineries in the Hill Country and now Italy.
Yes.
How do you see wine tourism evolving over the next 10 years?
Specifically for Texas.
Let's say specifically for Texas.
Ooh, I'm excited about this. So coming from the whole like from California, which is like the top like wine country in the United States, Texas is number 2, the second most visited wine country in the U.S.
Crazy to think about, yeah.
So one of the reasons why I just jumped in head first, and I did study this area before I moved here, I wanted to bring those examples, right? Not necessarily, like I'm not the California girl that's trying to California my Texas, as they say. Definitely not trying to do that. But I do take standard industry techniques and apply them to what Texas is already giving in the wine industry. So everything from the type of glasses to serve, increasing your cost for tastings. They shouldn't when I came here, they were like $10 or free. I'm like, in California, it's $25 to $35. Like, we're the wineries that want to do that, right? So just bringing those, even from Italy as well, bringing that like etiquette from the industry to Texas so that I can help the winemakers and people that are already doing their thing out here to just step it up a bit. Like let's capitalize off of what's already been done. We don't have to, like, Texas is really big on like doing things their way. But when it comes to wine, and if you're the second most visited wine country, let's just take what's already been done and put the Texas twist on it because it's here 100%.
Yeah.
Like I respect so many families in the wine game here for just sticking it out and trying to figure out where to get the grapes from and, just sitting on some of their vines long enough to produce great wine. And that's what's happened. I mean, we have game players like William Chris. They're number one. You better believe I was like, who's the top family here that's in the wine industry that's doing something innovative? You think about William Chris, so I'm like, okay. So I jumped in and made sure I worked with them. I joined the boards, the Wine and Food Foundation of Texas. I was on the board within the first year I moved here. And they were like, I'm like, oh, this is like the Wine and Food Foundation of Texas. Where's the Texas wine?
Yeah, where is it?
So these were all collectors originally. Believe it or not, they weren't pushing Texas wine.
Wow.
And I had to get on the board and say, we can find the best wine in Texas and create a field trip for people to go out to the Hill Country. And they're like, oh, it's not mature. I'm like, let's find the top game players. And so ever since then, when I got a lot of people to jump on board to my field trip, I filled a bus of 30 people to go out to the Texas Hill Country, and I picked 3 top wineries. I felt at that moment there were people that had an open mind enough to accept wineries that were doing their thing, winemakers that knew what they were doing. And to this day, the best wineries in the Hill Country are the winemakers that are well-traveled.
Well, yeah.
It's not the ones that want to do everything. Because that's what, when I first came here, people were bragging about the fact that they owned the land, planted the grapes, made the wine, bottled the wine, and they sold it. And I used to be like, hey, who has the chemistry degree?
Mm-hmm. You're like,
yeah. But it's gotten better. I think Texas understands the wine game, and you can see it. When I moved out here, it was 60 wineries. Now it's over 200. From Dripping Springs to Fredericksburg.
Yeah. Fredericksburg is crazy when you just like boom.
Look at it, yeah. And
It's
so
insane.
I'm like, I'm partnering. You know, I have the cheese. So I partnered with Vinovium, Horn Winery, Slate Theory, which is my favorite. Slate Theory has the cave.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yes, so you can go underground and taste. And then in California, that was the norm. You can go cave tasting. And we used to drink taste out of the barrels. Yeah, underground. So they have that. So it's like them and William Chris and all of that. Like, I partner with some great winery families, and I still do some consulting, like, behind the scenes. And
That's amazing. That's amazing. I love how you've been able to pivot in each location that you've been. You've been able to adapt.
Yes, and I kept it in the luxury space.
And I love that. I mean, especially as like a woman who's led, I feel like you've done a good job of merging hospitality, fashion, lifestyle together. And you've done a really good job too, because you've just adapted very quickly. So what would you say from that has been one of the most important leadership lessons that you've learned through it all?
To be patient and to actually learn the client. The client is different from California to Texas to Italy, and everybody has different needs. California is like, we're trying to stay on top. We want to be number one. We're only putting you in positions where you can be at red carpet events, be in magazines and all of that. Then I moved to Texas, and it's a little different. Nobody really cares about the red carpet stuff unless it's a nonprofit event, and I still don't see that much red carpet. But then I'm here in Texas, and they're more like, okay, you know, we're just trying to sell great Texas wine. And so, like, if you learn each goal, and then in Italy, I go to Italy, they're like, we're trying to get our wines into the States. You know, we're trying to get as much people to know about Italian wine. So each client has a different need, and I have to really respect where they are in this journey of them trying to make more money and to be more present in the space. And if you don't understand that, it's a loss, because I can't bring California to Texas 100%. I can't bring Texas to Italy, and vice versa. I can't make each client be something that they're not. So really understanding like who the client is and where they are and meeting them there. One thing I say when I do business is I'm only going off of industry standard. You can get so emotional in business where people kind of lose their way, and they either get greedy or they don't do enough, or they get frustrated and give up. And I'm like, hey, like, the plan is already set. I worked for the #1 importer and distributor in the United States, and this is what they did for each brand. And so I'm talking about Moët Hennessy, Johnny Walker, Crown Royal, Tanqueray. Like, I had that whole top shelf portfolio, 15 brands. The business plan was the same, and they bank millions on each brand. So when I come to a smaller entity and they're less willing to follow, I always say in my meetings, if we don't follow industry standard, you're not the client for me.
Yeah.
I can't go off track. It's already set. So we just need to put your twist and your story on it. Yeah.
I love that, especially having just some foundational rules.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been helpful in making you so successful. So you mentioned earlier you're pursuing a master's in hospitality and tourism, right?
Yes.
In Italy. So what doors do you hope that it opens for you? And what are you hoping the next impact that you're going to be able to make?
So it's funny, like, I am already thinking about retirement. I'm like a planner, right? Because it'll be fruitful now. It'll be fun, right? Okay, yeah, I'm getting my master's in hospitality. The only reason I'm getting this is because the United States is such a check in the box country. So if they don't see that little check in the box on like, oh, I want to create your menus at a Michelin star restaurant, or I want to create experiences at this resort, they're like, well, what's your background?
Yeah,
and I can sit up and we can talk like this the whole time, but then someone comes in and on paper, they're like, oh, like, I've studied here and I've studied this. Even though I do have my degree and I have a lot of experience ground up and just really being able to close deals just like naturally. And because of all of my experience, it's something about when you're going into these like 5-star places, right? They want to see like everything. Oh, what schools did you go to and all of that. And don't get me wrong, I'm not discrediting any school because I feel like it polishes you. Education definitely does polish you. But at the same time, if you're trying to get to the money, there is a plan that's already in place. And if you can replicate it and you understand how to work with people, guess what? That plan is enough. But when I'm thinking about like retirement and thinking about the type of competition that I may be against, yeah, I'm going to go to school because the colleges always have the in on like, oh, the digital, and this is what we're expecting in the industry, and we know it's going to happen because we're a part of the plan. You know, universities are a part of the plan. So I'm like, okay, well, give me that.
Yeah.
I could do it. It's 2 years, a year, maybe, depending on, how many hours I want to do in a semester. But it will definitely help with me wanting to be a part of the hospitality groups, like the hospitality groups such as like, the Michelin star resorts.
Right. It just gives you credibility. And there's nothing, there really is nothing wrong with that.
No,
I always
not,
say
yeah.
it's like someone says, I have my master's, a business master's from Harvard versus a business master's from, and again, just a state college, right?
Yes.
Someone's going to be like, oh, well, you went to Harvard business master's.
Yes.
You must be a fire chute. And honestly, they could be a terrible candidate because they don't have the other aspect of it.
Exactly.
But it's just the world we live in. Of course, you're going to look at who has the better credentials, regardless of who the person is and what they have to offer. I mean, hopefully that does play part of it. But
it does. And then also that other piece is like that's the more people you know. If I'm getting a master's in hospitality, who's sitting in the classroom with me?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh
who
my
you talking? Who you rubbing elbows with?
Yeah. Yes.
It's just
That's
smart
fun.
business. It's just smart business.
Yeah.
Well, I think you're going to do great. That's a fantastic opportunity, and I'm so glad that you were chosen to do that. That's also probably an honor in and of itself. Okay, so tell me, let's do a little rapid fire to end this podcast. So tell me, what is your favorite destination that changed how you see hospitality?
It had to be going to Italy.
Yeah. I mean, Italy, I feel like it's just like, swoon.
Yes, like that's when it all came together because what the United States consider as social etiquette, it's just that there when you go. It just, that's what it is.
And it's very different too. With them, it's a long process. Here, I feel like in the U.S., we're like, great, this is awesome, we love it, but we're like, okay, on to the next. And I feel like in Europe, whether you're in France or Italy, everything is about the experience, and it is
slow,
very long and drawn out.
Yeah. It
is hours and hours and hours upon it. And I feel like in the U.S., we're like, oh my gosh, have I checked my emails? Have I done this? What am I going to do? I have 1,800 texts, Yeah. So it is a very different cultural aspect of it, but I do think it's something that is so beautiful to incorporate back here. So I would have to agree with you, even though I probably don't have as much experience of you traveling the world. Okay, most memorable glass of wine.
Oh my gosh.
Or maybe the place,
Okay.
yeah, or bottle wine.
No.
Place coupled with the wine.
Well, my experience, I'm going to always mention Italy, but if I have to pick a second, definitely California. I've been from Southern to Northern California, and the state definitely has a way of not only being innovative when it comes to like wine and fashion and all of this, but also they have the, what do you call it? Like the ambiance. So you can go to the mountains and create a tasting room, like.
And it's going to taste better.
Yes.
Than it would sitting here looking at the trees in my backyard,
Yes. And because the vines are older, but still that experience, right? And I've had a glass of wine. Okay, so I've driven or rode in a car from Northern California to Southern California along the coast. So when you drive along the coast, they have like restaurants. These restaurants are on a cliff. So the ocean is like right here, right? The ocean, the water, all of the waves are coming up while you're sitting on the cliff enjoying cliff enjoying a glass of wine, getting your lunch brought out to you while like the waves are like rushing against.
And it's peaceful.
Yes, and you're
quiet.
like right here. It's like the mountain and the water, and then you're sitting, eating, music playing a lot of the times.
Yeah.
And then you're getting that good service because you're in Central California on the coast.
Yeah.
That has to be hands down like my favorite. Like I can just pull over and it's simple, right? It's not like, oh, like you gotta wait to, get in line and all of this. You just pull in, valet takes your car. They're like, oh, where do you want to sit? Outside or indoors? Mind you, indoors just have like a little tent over it. The waves are still right here, but you're just sitting like
Yeah.
right here. You get the same experience, but if you're outside, you kind of feel a little bit of the water coming from the ocean.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh my gosh, the mountain's right there.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so yes.
Definitely. I can see
White
that.
wine from Russian River, if I had to pick from California.
What year? Do you
Yes.
remember?
Oh my God.
Ooh, am I giving you a
Telling
thing?
myself.
It's okay.
They're like, you better get it right.
No, well, okay, so we went to
So
this
let's see.
wine tasting, when was it? Last week. And it was Tony Parker's wine from
Okay.
France.
From
Provence in France. And they had like a 2015, a 2020, and like a 2024. But then they had one from like 2009 or something.
Oh,
and
yeah.
honestly, I liked the one from 2015 better than the 09.
Yeah.
I could have drank that and the 2020.
Yes.
So it was crazy to me because you usually think, oh, older the wine, the better it'll be. But the 2015 was so good. It was so good.
Yeah, I have to taste that. That wine. I haven't tasted it yet, but usually it has a lot to do with the soil that year and the what was going on. Was it raining? Was it a volcano? Did the grapes not get that much sun? So that's what it really is
about.
I mean, yeah, because the wine could sit in barrels and you can be like, oh, this is a 2009, but if the grapes didn't get that much rain,
You're like,
versus
"Meh."
2015, you're like, okay, am I drinking a port or like what am
Yeah.
I drinking? Okay, yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah, it could
but
definitely
it's
vary.
so like to me, I was like, wow, I was just thinking, oh, I'll love the older ones. But it was like,
Better.
I like the 2015, then the 2020, and even 2024 was even, I wasn't crazy about the 09, but it was still fantastic.
Really good.
Mind you, I'm not a wine person. I rarely drink wine.
Oh,
So like
wow.
it was,
Yep.
I don't know why it just gives me reflux sometimes. So but I could have drank a whole bottle of that 2015 and I had no reflux. That's what was so amazing about it. But okay, what would you say 3 words that define great service?
great service. Energy. Sorry if you don't have it. People, you can practice how to serve, how to sell all day. You can read a book. You can listen to a podcast. You can do all of that. But if you aren't, I feel like you really have to be grounded and know yourself in order to connect with other people. And so if you come up to a table or you're talking to people, you're in people's presence, you walk through a door. If I'm sitting at a restaurant or in a store shopping, the energy comes off first before a person even opens their mouth. So number 1,
Yeah.
energy. 2, I would say how well you know what you're serving. If I'm at a restaurant and I'm like, oh, and they're like, okay, today we have like the white wine and we have like a, I don't know, steak tartare and all this. If I'm like, oh my gosh, where's the steak from? Is it Wagyu? What white wine is it? Is it from Bordeaux or is it a Sauvignon Blanc from Napa? Like to have that information. So you have to be knowledgeable. That's what makes like the great experience. And then also being able to do a good close, like instead of just walking away. So if I'm in a restaurant and I'm being served and they just put the food on the table and never come back, and the only time you see them is when they come deliver the check, that's not a good experience. Like I want my waitress or waiter to say, hey, how did you like the food? Would you come back here? Guess what? We're having music next week. Or, we have wine dinners, like really engaging with who you're serving and then kind of like closing that circle, because that not only guarantees like someone to come back, but also it just makes a person feel more comfortable. It makes me feel like, oh, guess what? I spend my entire time serving other people in the luxury space. So me, myself, I only go to like fine dining or places where I'm being served the same way that I service people. So I pay attention to those three things. Like the energy, definitely. People in our space, as you know, because you're in luxury too, it's like that you have to have the personality. It doesn't matter kind of what we're going through. And even people in our space, I feel like what we go through does not impact how we treat others naturally.
Yeah.
Right? We kind of just like turn on that switch because our energy becomes their energy. And a lot of times they have it a little bit, but we're the ones to pull it out.
Right.
So if I'm coming and you're seating me or you're coming to my table or you're selling me something like
So you would say energy, service.
Yes.
And
the
then-
knowledge.
And the knowledge.
So energy, like the knowledge and being and service. Yep, closing
I love
gap.
that. Well, but I also feel like that's just in any sort of business that you're dealing with customer relationships, right? Having that makes a whole different experience,
for
right?
sure.
Clearly, you have to have a good product and you have to implement the product well, but I feel like that's a basis for anything, whether you're, a high level CEO with a business that still deals with clients, like you have to do that.
You have to.
You
Yes.
know?
And then even with like, having a good product, people are like, oh, like this is a great product, and they have none of that behind it. Or they have like a mediocre product. So even with you, I think I looked at one of your videos and you're like, whether I'm selling a $400,000 property or $40 million property, right? Like you look at that, you take that customer that's buying, that's coming in, they're looking at a $400,000 property.
Yeah.
They probably have no vision, but guess what? You create that vision, don't you? You're like, this is great. It may not be this $700,000 property, and we can get you into that, but this $400,000 property is amazing. You can do this to the backyard. You're selling it. You're
Fits
selling
your
your service.
needs.
Exactly. So you're knowledgeable. Right?
Yeah.
And you're providing that energy, right? And then you're closing the gap by saying, well, you know
Yeah.
what? Like if you're unsure still, let me, here's my card. You're closing that gap. So you have to do that.
Yeah.
It's so important in any part of luxury, especially.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I feel like, I don't know if this is something that you've said before, but it's luxury isn't just found in places, it's a feeling, right?
Yes.
So, and
my
I think you've done a great job of doing that across every business venture that you've been a part of. And you've done a great job of adapting from whether you're in California or Texas and to different industries, right? Even
Yeah.
though they all do connect, right? So you're just such an impressive human being. I mean, I
thank
love that
you.
you
I'm
knew what
glad
you
I'm
wanted to
on
do
here.
when you were 14 years old. I
Yeah.
mean, to me, to take that drive, you were given the experiences that you needed, but you still made your own way. I think it's so impressive. And just kind of what you've been able to do is fascinating. So I am so excited for you in this next venture of getting your master's from Italy. And hopefully I'll be able to come out and be able to do one of your wine tastings and
Yes.
pairings of cheese.
And I'll
We'll
bring
make
you
sure that
guys
we
some.
get, you'll make sure we get a wine that's not going to give me reflux, but
Oh, yeah. Yes.
and some
I
good
won't.
cheese. But it was such a pleasure to have you on the show today, Jill.
Same. Thank you.
You
It's
were
an honor.
awesome.
Like
Yes.
it's funny because I knew about this office and I knew you all's reputation. So when the opportunity came, I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh, well,
this is aligned.
I love
so
it.
much.
I love it.
And I seen your personality on the videos that I looked. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, she's a badass. Like,
Well, I so
Yes.
appreciate it. Hats off to you too. I'm so impressed with you. And I love that you, like you said, you're a planner, but also you keep that customer experience happening. And I just pray we never lose that because I feel like generationally everyone's on their phones and this and that, and it's starting to become more this. And I want to keep it more this. And I think that you're going to be instrumental in doing that. So anyway, it was
Okay,
really
thank
so much fun to
you.
talk to you
Yes,
today.
thank
So
you.
Thank you for coming. And that's all we got. Have a great day.